On February 2nd, 2025, Andrej Karpathy, one of the founders of OpenAI and former head of AI at Tesla, posted something on X that changed the software industry forever. He wrote, "There is a new kind of coding I call vibe coding, where you fully give in to the vibes, embrace exponentials, and forget that the code even exists." That post got 4.5 million views. Within months, Collins Dictionary named vibe coding the word of the year for 2025. And by early 2026, it was not just a meme, it was a movement. Microsoft announced that 30% of their code is now written by AI. Google said 25 to 30%. Mark Zuckerberg told investors Meta is targeting 50 to 75% AI-generated code by the end of the year. GitHub Copilot users reported that 46% of their code was being written by the machine. CEOs started asking a very dangerous question. If AI can write the code, why are we paying $150,000 a year for someone to do it? And the layoffs began. In the first quarter of 2026 alone, over 52,000 tech workers lost their jobs. Entry-level hiring dropped 25% year over year. Junior developers aged 22 to 25 saw a 20% decline in available positions. The promise was simple. AI writes the code. You just describe what you want in plain English. No debugging, no documentation, no computer science degree required. Sounds like a revolution, right? But what if I told you this revolution is building a house of cards that is already starting to collapse? Here is the part the AI hype machine does not want you to see. A landmark study by CodeRabbit analyzed thousands of pull requests across real production code bases. The results were devastating. AI-generated code produced 1.7 times more bugs than human-written code. Cross-site scripting vulnerabilities jumped 2.74 times higher. Security misconfigurations increased by 75%. On average, AI pull requests had 10.83 issues, compared to 6.45 for human developers. And those are just the bugs that got caught during review. The ones that slipped through are far worse. In March 2026, AI attributed CVEs, those are publicly disclosed security vulnerabilities, jumped from 6 in January to over 35. That is a 500% increase in 3 months. The pattern is clear. AI writes code fast, but it writes vulnerable code even faster. And the disasters are piling up. Amazon suffered a 6-hour outage traced to AI-generated infrastructure code that cost an estimated 6.3 million lost orders. A startup called Moltbook shipped AI-written code that leaked 1.5 million API keys to a public repository. Replit's AI agent accidentally wiped an entire production database for SaaStr, a major SaaS company. And in one widely shared incident, an AI coding assistant ran Terraform Destroy on a live production environment, deleting actual cloud infrastructure. These are not hypotheticals. These are real incidents that cost real companies real money. And every single one was caused by code that a human never fully understood because they never actually wrote it. Now let us talk about what is happening in the boardrooms, because the CEO playbook for 2026 is terrifyingly simple. Step 1. Announce that AI is writing your code. Step 2. Cut your engineering headcount. Step 3. Watch your stock price go up. Mark Zuckerberg told investors that AI will replace mid-level software engineers at Meta. Jack Dorsey fired 40% of Block's engineering team explicitly for AI replacements. Larry Ellison told shareholders that AI is already writing Oracle's code, right before laying off 30,000 people. Shopify's CEO Toby Lutke issued a company-wide memo saying, "No new hires will be approved unless you can prove the job cannot be done by AI first, and the stock market is rewarding all of it." Oracle's stock jumped 6% after their mass layoff announcement. Wall Street loves the narrative. Fewer humans, more machines, bigger margins. But here is the data nobody on Wall Street is talking about. A Forrester research study found that 55% of companies that made AI-driven layoffs now regret the decision. The capabilities that AI vendors promised were not production ready. The engineers they fired took institutional knowledge with them that no language model could replace. Senior developers do not just write code. They understand why systems were built a certain way, what failed before, what edge cases matter. That context lives in human brains, not in training data. Companies are learning this the hard way, but for thousands of laid-off workers, the lesson comes too late. There is another crisis brewing that almost nobody is covering. Vibe coding is killing open-source software, the foundation that 90% of modern technology is built on. A paper titled Vibe Coding Kills Open Source documented how AI-generated contributions are overwhelming maintainers with low-quality pull requests. The curl project, one of the most widely used tools in the world, had to shut down its bug bounty program because 20% of submissions were AI-generated garbage. The Ghosty terminal emulator banned AI-generated code contributions entirely. Tailwind CSS, one of the most popular CSS frameworks, had to close external pull requests because they were drowning in AI slop. Their documentation traffic dropped 40% and revenue fell 80% as AI tools started generating Tailwind code without users ever visiting the docs or paying for the product. This is the hidden cost of vibe coding. The open source ecosystem that every company depends on is being poisoned by a flood of AI-generated contributions that create more work for maintainers, not less. And then there is the skills collapse. A study tracking developer productivity found that while developers believed they were 20% faster with AI tools, the actual measured improvement was nearly 40 percentage points below what vendors claimed. Worse, junior developers are losing the ability to debug, to understand system architecture, to reason about code they did not write. We are creating a generation of developers who can prompt but cannot program. And when the AI-generated house of cards collapses, who is going to fix it? So where does this leave you? Whether you are a senior engineer, a junior developer, or someone thinking about entering tech, here is what you need to understand. First, AI coding tools are not going away. Fighting them is pointless, but blindly trusting them is career suicide. The developers who will thrive are the ones who use AI as a tool, not a replacement for thinking. Learn to review AI output critically. Understand what it generates. Never ship code you cannot explain. Second, deep technical skills are becoming more valuable, not less. When everyone can generate code with a prompt, the differentiator is understanding why code works, how systems fail, and what to do when they break. Debugging, architecture, system design, security, these skills cannot be vibe coded. Third, build your personal brand now. The developers who survived every previous wave of disruption, outsourcing, cloud computing, mobile, they all had one thing in common. They were visible. They contributed to open source. They wrote blog posts. They had reputations that no algorithm could replace. Fourth, if you are a junior developer, do not panic, but do not get complacent either. The entry-level funnel is shrinking. Compensate by building real projects, not tutorial apps. Deploy them, break them, fix them. That hands-on experience is exactly what AI cannot teach you. The $150,000 programmer is not dead, but the programmer who only writes code without understanding it? That role is disappearing fast. The future belongs to engineers who can think, not just prompt. If this video opened your eyes, subscribe and share it with every developer you know. The industry needs this wake-up call.